think I'll start with the unwritten sort of, perspective that we're trying to get. And I think that throughout the application, what we're looking for is, or certainly what I'm looking for, is that passion of that person to come through, so that they tell us through their application, maybe an interview later, about their passion, not just for the subject area, for their field, but also their passion about why they want to become possibly a future research leader. And as this is about Health and Care Research Wales, how they're going to contribute to that health and care research agenda in Wales, how they're going to contribute to making a real difference to what matters for us at Health and Care Research Wales, which is about making a difference to people and populations living here in Wales. So that's the unwritten aspect of person I'm looking for. How that sort of translates then into the application is that, a well put together application tells us about why this award is why that person is ready for this award at this time. So it's the right time. It's also the right place. This fellowship remit will fit in with what you want to do in terms of your own aims and ambitions, because not only do we want to see that in your individual, but if we're investing in you as a research leader for the future, we're also looking to see what your trajectory is in terms of making that contribution back to that sort of wider research agenda in the future. But it's got to be pitched right as well. So, we've all got ambition, of course, okay, but depending on where you are in terms of your own research career, that you're being realistic and practical in terms of what you need to do in terms of taking those next steps forwards in your own research career. So if, for example, if you're planning to make a doctoral fellowship application, we'd want to see that maybe, what your exposure to research has been up until that point. But we're not expecting you at that stage to become a professor after, a year or so. Probably looking for there is you've got a clear plan and trajectory to become an independent researcher, and then to go on to the next stage, which might be an advanced fellow, for example, so that you've got clear in your own sort of application, in your own mind, about where you are in terms of your own research sort of pathway. Okay, so in the description of person, we want to know about why this fellowship, why you are right for this fellowship. This is the right time, right place for you. For me, that foundation starts with cultivating a great narrative CV. Narrative CVs are a fantastic opportunity to show, the experience, and it's not just about whether you've accumulated a certain course. It's about all those things that bring you to this point in time that you can be successful with your application. So understanding what we're looking for in those different sort of step on points for each of the fellowship award schemes is really, really important. I'm really interested in knowing about why this is the right time for you. So, why do you feel that this is, the best time that we can invest in you as a researcher? We want to know about how that reflects in terms of your own pathway. Of course, we don't know what the future might bring, but it's really important that we have that confidence that you sort of know where your sort of vision is heading towards, okay? And with that vision as well, making, you understanding some of the challenges on that way, and how you're going to use the fellowship to sort of learn from that. It's really difficult to articulate. This is what makes it different from, say, a sort of a traditional project grant. We're asking to invest in you in terms of what you are bringing to that table, in terms of what you can bring, what networks you're going to develop. How is that going to play in terms of the next steps that you'll want to take in your research career? Be practical, be pragmatic. We don't expect you to come into, say, your doctoral fellowship and say at the end of it you want to be a professor. Fantastic if we see that, maybe that's your 10-year vision, for example. But at your doctoral level, what we're really wanting to see that you're starting to move towards that pathway of independence as a researcher. If you're an advanced fellowship, tell us about how you're going to move and progress from your PhD to becoming that research leader. In terms of maybe at that stage, it's about being a principal investigator, learning about that independence from, say, your previous supervisory team. So you're cultivating your own research portfolio and networks. Really, really important that you think about where you fit within that your own research career pathway, but also the scheme and the award that you're applying for. They have to be aligned. Yeah, I think it's about having that confidence in yourself. I think it's always difficult when we see such a great project, we see a great person who just maybe not showing their potential through in terms of the way that they sort of engaged with the application, or indeed what has been a little bit frustrating at time is that when somebody's done a great application and then at interview, they've just not allowed themselves to shine, through in terms of, promoting themselves and things. It's not just about, whether you're a confidence out. That's not what it's about, but it's about the fact that this is your chance to shine, really. So I think if I was going to add another P to the 5 Ps, it's about preparation. Put the preparation in time, put the investment, because this is about you. Make this really important about how you presenting yourself within your written words in the application, but also then if you do have an interview and part of it, how you're going to present yourself through that. So please, please, please take the time to prepare your application. When people have just possibly rushed through things, and that's such a shame, really, because you've undersold yourself, you've undersold your application, and that's always frustrating because we know the hard work and effort that goes into these. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Talk to people. Please talk to people, listen to other people's stories of how they got there. There's nobody who has had a perfect research journey. There's no such thing as a perfect researcher. But if you listen to and learn from, access some of the resources, both within Health and Care Research Wales, but also wider, there's lots of information available, for example, through the NHR website. So do all of that preparation that you can to make sure that you sell your project, the place that you want to do that project, your contribution to PPI, and importantly, as part of that, your training plan fully aligns to you and your ambitions.